Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. We're here today because of one individual. His name is Brad. He's from Newfoundland. He's amazing. He is amazing. He's done a lot of statistical and analytical research for us. That's what he likes to do. So he's taken some time out of his day and he's prepared a few videos for us. This one is, we're calling it the new series Statistical Olympics. So this is a series where we put players head to head throughout their seasonal career and playoff career. So in this video, if you can't tell from the title already, we have Sidney Crosby, we have Evgeny Malkin, we have Alexander Ovechkin, and Nicholas Backstrom. Now these guys all didn't start the same year, but they were very close. Nicholas Backstrom started in 07-08, I believe. So he's been around almost as long as the other guys, but they've basically all been in the NHL around the same amount of time. So yeah. I felt like those four players, two from Washington, two from Pittsburgh, would be the best to go head-to-head. I mean, they're all against each other in this thing, but you know, we always hear, who's better, Crosby versus Ovechkin? It's an endless argument. It's an endless debate. People will say Ovechkin's better. People will say Crosby's better. This is the statistical, analytical decision.
Because in some ways, Crosby's better. And in other ways, Malkin's better.
Exactly.
And in other ways, Ovechkin's better.
Yep.
But which way? Well, you rank all the ways.
Exactly.
You know, goals, power play goals, you know, this and that. So
penalty minutes, plus minus, blah, 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 blah. So that's, there's multiple rounds, and there's a scoring system. So round one, for example, is who scored the most goals in their seasonal career so far. Whoever scored the most goals comes in first, they get 4 points. Who comes in second gets 3 points. Third, 2 points. Last and fourth, 1 point. At the end of the 6 rounds, we add up all the points. The person with the most points wins gold or whatever. So this is a way to figure out statistically who is maybe better than the others. But there are some things we can't control. So for example, Ovechkin's played more games than all of the other of these people. But then Sidney Crosby and Malkin have played more playoff games than Ovechkin and Backstrom. So it's kind of hard to compare 100%, but this is the best we can do based on their statistics.
Don't blame us.
Yeah, don't blame us. So again, Brad, thank you. But let's just jump into this. So I'll hand this off to you, and you can take me through round one.
Okay, round one is who scored the most goals in their season, in the regular season career so far. The first place leader in that category is Ovechkin, 558 goals, and played 921 regular season games.
So this one should be no surprise. Ovechkin's a goal scorer. So
that's right. So he would get the
he would get 4 points.
The 4 points. Second place is Sid Crosby, 382 goals in 782 games. That puts him in
3 points.
3-point range. Evgeny Malkin is next with 328 goals in 706 games.
2 points for Evgeny.
And finally, Backstrom with 188 goals in 734 games.
1 point for Backstrom. So the point totals will be done
cumulatively.
All right.
Alrighty.
Take us through round two.
Round two is going to be the assists. Goals and assists add together for points. So we're going to break this down to goals and assists. So here we go. Number one, Sidney Crosby, 645 assists in those 782 games.
All right, so he gets 4 points for that. That brings him up to 7 points total.
Right on. Second place is Backstrom with 540 assists in 734 games.
That brings him up to 4 points total.
Evgeny Malkin next, 504 assists in 706 games.
4 points for him as well total.
There we go. And Ovechkin, 477 assists in 921 games.
All right, 5 points for him. So
yeah, so that's 1 point for him to add to the 4 to make it total of 5.
Exactly. All the points I say at the end of each thing is going to be their total as we go through these rounds. So round three. What's round three? Round
three. Who's got the most points in their career so far, in the regular season career? So that's an add of the two metrics that we've already talked about.
Exactly.
So if you add goals and assists together, somebody though may still end up in a different order than they would have before.
Very possible.
So it's still worthwhile counting. Total points in his 921 games, Ovechkin got 1,035 points. 1,027 points for Sidney Crosby in only 782 games.
Close.
So points per game for Crosby clearly is a better number there.
Yeah.
But Crosby's not playing all the games. You know, he's got the high ankle sprain or he's got a concussion or whatever. So Ovechkin is more of an Iron Man when it comes to that. So He gets the top billing there. Malkin, 832 points in 706 games. Again, more than a point per game.
Yeah, impressive.
And Backstrom is so close, 728 points in 734
very
games.
close, yeah.
So the standings are...
So yeah, first place right now is Sidney Crosby with 10 points. Second place is Ovechkin with 9. Third is Malkin with 6. And last is Backstrom with 5.
Okay, so now plus minus. And, there are varying opinions on the relevance of plus minus in measuring a player's, abilities or performance. It's one of many things, and here it is in this round 4. The best plus minus in his career so far, Sidney Crosby with a plus of 165.
I assumed he was first. Yeah.
Next is Backstrom with plus 113 in his games. And he's played almost as many games as Crosby, even though he joined the league a year or two afterwards. Ovechkin plus 84 in his career of 921 games. And Malkin plus 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings Crosby up to 14 points. Ovechkin's got 11. Backstrom's got 8. And Malkin's got 7.
There you go. The next is who has the fewest penalty minutes in their seasonal career so far. This is regular season. So the fewest penalty minutes is Backstrom. In 734 games, he has only 372 penalty minutes. And that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Sidney Crosby, 506 penalty minutes in his 782 games. Ovechkin, 617 minutes in his 921. And Malkin, 726 minutes in 706 games.
Okay, so it looks like Crosby's still in the lead with 17 points. Ovechkin's got 13, Backstrom's got 12, and Malkin's got 8.
Alrighty. Round 6, here we are. Who has the most power play goals in their regular season career? Tops is Ovechkin, 212 power play goals.
That's probably a given. He spends a lot of time on the power play.
A lot of time in the power play. Evgeny Malkin is second with 119 power play goals. Sidney Crosby's a close third with 115. And Backstrom is back in fourth with 58 power play goals in his games.
All right, so I guess that's the end of the seasonal Olympics. So we've got Crosby in first place overall with 19 points. We've got Ovechkin in second place with 17 points overall. In third, we have Backstrom with 13 points. And last place, we have Malkin with 11 points. So looks like Crosby takes the seasonal gold medal there.
He does. And with the playoffs coming up, and knowing that Pittsburgh has played more playoff games than Washington, you have to predict, or think in your mind at least, that Crosby is going to be extending his lead, perhaps. We'll see, though. We'll see. Because the numbers don't lie.
The point system is going to reset for the playoff portion.
Round 1. Who scored the most goals in their playoff career so far? And it is Evgeny Malkin with 58 goals in 149 playoff games.
Okay.
Next is Sidney Crosby with one fewer goal, 57 in one fewer game, 148. So he's almost there. Next is Ovechkin with 46 goals in 97 games. And then Backstrom with 26 goals in 96 games.
All right, so Malkin's in the lead with 4 points.
There he is. Next, the most assists in the playoff career so far, and that goes to Sidney Crosby with 107. Next is Malkin with 99. Next is Backstrom with 49. And then Ovechkin, 44 assists in his playoff games.
So Crosby has 7 points and Malkin has 7 points. And the two Washington players have 3.
There you go. Round 3. Who's got the most points overall? That's a combination of the previous two metrics we just talked about. If you add them both together, Sidney Crosby has the top at 164 points. Next is Malkin with 157, followed by Ovechkin with 90, and then Backstrom in the tail end at 75 points.
Looks like Crosby's leading Malkin by 1 point now.
Now, round 4, who's got the best plus-minus in the playoffs? And that's actually Malkin. He's plus 17 in his playoff games, and Crosby's only at plus 15 for second place. We have plus 13 for Backstrom and plus 5 for Ovechkin.
So we're back to a tie between Crosby and Malkin at 15 points.
Look at that. And who has the least penalty minutes or fewest penalty minutes in their career in the playoffs so far? And that goes to Ovechkin, 46 minutes in his 97 games. I would not have predicted that.
I would have not predicted that either.
You know, he's a rough and tumble guy, and I just thought he'd be in the sin bin a little more often. But, yeah, Backstrom's next with 48 minutes in about the same number of games. Sidney Crosby, 71 minutes in 148 games. And Evgeny Malkin, 200 minutes. That's a surprise as well.
Yeah, it is.
My mental image of Malkin isn't him sitting in the penalty box.
Yeah, I don't know.
But clearly
Must have been a lot of fights.
Spent a lot of time there. Yeah.
So, looks like Crosby's in the lead with 17 points. Malkin's got 16. Ovechkin's got 11. And Backstrom has 10.
So round 6 in the playoffs, who has the most power play goals in their playoff career so far? Evgeny Malkin is 23 goals in his 149 games. Sidney Crosby is 5 behind with 18 power play goals. And then it's Ovechkin with 15, and finally Backstrom with 7.
All right, that puts Malkin and Crosby tied for first place, the gold medal in the playoff statistics, for 21 points. Ovechkin's got 17 and Backstrom has 13. You could probably predict this one, like you said before we started this. Clearly, Pittsburgh has played more playoff games than Washington. I don't think Washington's been beyond the second round, and Pittsburgh has been beyond the second round 3 times. So that's at least 8 + 8 + 8. So there's so many extra games there.
Crosby and Malkin have played 150 games ish.
Yeah,
and the other two haven't played even 100 yet.
So it looks like, I don't have those added up for total, but it doesn't matter. I think the most important is the seasonal standings. So were you surprised by any of these statistics? What really stood out for you here?
What really stood out was, I guess, near the end when we talked about the penalty minutes.
Yeah.
Particularly in the playoffs. In the playoffs is when the referees supposedly put their whistles away.
Yeah.
And they don't call as many penalties. And to see such a disparity between, the fewest and the most, it's kind of a shock. 200 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the biggest for me was probably Malkin. If you look at his seasonal ranking here, he got 11 points in the seasonal competition, and he got 21 points in the playoff competition. So Malkin is a huge playoff performer, not so much in the seasonal performer. So that was probably the most interesting thing I found.
And he'd have a 32 overall if you had those two metrics together, the playoffs and the regular season. Crosby would have a 40. So it just shows you how much, there's some daylight appearing between those two players. Yeah.
And Ovechkin would have...
I'll have to go down.
34?
17 plus 17 is 34.
And Backstrom would have...
13 and 13, is it?
Yeah.
26.
26.
Yeah.
So, Backstrom's been in the league a little less than the others, so not really a surprise that he's at the bottom there, but just an interesting process to go through this and see some guys head-to-head. We hope to do this in the future again with maybe some more players, maybe Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane and some other people. Who knows?
That'd be great.
It'd be interesting. So, Brad, thank you again for making this data available to us to go through. We had a lot of fun with it, learned some stuff. Hope you guys found this interesting as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. That definitely always helps. If you're new to this channel, I hope you hit the subscribe button to catch lots more videos from post to post. And we will see you guys in the future. Adios.